Okay, now I have cash. It was pretty full, and a lot of people, even though the...
There's an old curiosity shop. Every once in a while I go by there for the fond recollections that lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Well, I'm about to have a fit, because I'm not finding anything today. Oh well.
You could stop at 5 or 6 stores, or just one.
Wow. Remember when thousands of Americans had formal dining rooms, and they had mahogany Duncan Fife tables and shield-back chairs just like this in the 1940s and 50s? And this is the poor old furniture now that you can hardly give away, sadly. But yeah, lots of folks in Grand Rapids, Michigan put dinner on their tables every night making furniture like this in the good old USA. Well, let's go see what we can find. Look, I found a pair of polo seersucker pants. And unfortunately, it's a size 35 waist, which means you could fit 2 of me in these. Oh well, summer's over anyway. I'll live. Hey, it's time for corduroy. Yeah, man, I love corduroy pants. All right, we turn the corner and it's silver plate time. And oh my goodness, that's a first. Well, she got so excited she jumped out of her go-go boots.
You've been a messin' where you shouldn't have been a messin'.
Wait, those aren't go-go boots. Well, I'm not getting any closer than that. Ooh, I wonder if she just I wonder if it was spontaneous combustion. She burst into flames and disappeared. Woo! Well, you never know in a thrift store. You just never know. And they're banging dishes and playing music really loudly. Okay. You know, here's another one of these soup tureens. Well, probably not soup. It's so tiny. Could be for soup. It's probably made in Japan. I like it, but I'm not going to buy it. I'll tell you why later. Little hobnail pieces there. Okay, I'm going to, I think, turn this thing off because it's a lot of background noise in here today. Well, everyone, I'm safe at home now doing this voiceover because it was too much noise in the store that day. But the whole video won't be a voiceover. Just bear with me while I talk through this part. It's going to be maybe a little on the boring side. Everything in the store, everything was 50% off because of, let's see, Veterans Day, yes. And you'll find out in a minute if I buy anything or not. I'm actually going to show you. But these are the Christmas things. They actually opened early, and I got there on the second day of the sale. And they opened up at 8 o'clock instead of 9. And I was there. So this is the second aisle that has vases, lots of clear glass and things. This is a huge old building. Well, it's not that old, but it used to be something else, and then it was turned into a Goodwill. Well, it's not a Goodwill, it's a different name of a thrift store. There's that old anchor hocking deviled egg plate. Yes, $3.99 meant that it was only $2, but there must be 500,000 of those egg plates floating around. I would have bought it if it were in Delphite blue. Now this, I recognize that shape. It's pretty, and I believe that's a Cambridge piece. Not that green thing, the elegant piece I just put down. But I didn't buy it because it had a lot of chips on the edges. Rough around the seams. That was pretty. I could have bought that for $1. I'm not really sure why I didn't. There's some grape and cable milk glass. Probably Westmoreland or Imperial. One of those 70s big-headed things you just saw. And I like the old salt. Is that the Gorton's Fisherman? He's kind of funny next to that nun. And lots of little tiny figurines, but nothing on there was old. Now remember, when I say vintage, I'm really antique, and I don't usually purchase things past the 1960s. I like things much older than that, and that's kind of what I specialize in. Now I should have bought these, but I didn't. They really don't sell for very well. They are Heisey, and that pattern is called Chrysolite. I've always liked it, but see that crack? Yeah, so no good. And that was a mid-century pattern by Heisey, 1940s, 50s. I just really like the design of those candlesticks, but with the crack, you can't do it. I always go down this aisle which has the metal ware and the baskets, because every once in a while I'll find some really good bookends on the left, and on the right where the wood is, sometimes I'll find antique clocks or boxes and that kind of thing. Now here's the aisle of stems and drink and picture frames. Stems and glassware, tumblers and whatnot is what I'm trying to say. And a quick look down there. Didn't really pan out. There were some etched pieces from the 40s, but I didn't really find anything that constituted a complete set. Oops, what's going on? I need to cut that out. What's going on? I'm sorry about that. Oh my word. Now this thing is made in Germany, and it's a blank that got shipped out, and somebody started to paint it and then they never finished it. So we'll see that the Germany stamp on the back. A lot of that pottery and porcelain made in Europe was just, the factories did the porcelain, but they didn't always do the decorating. So somebody gave up on the decorating of that. Mugs. And picture frames and whatnot, framed art. Hey, if you're bored, don't turn off yet, because I'm going to have some Christmas surprise. Now, here I am peeking into the... Oh, no, I didn't see anything. I'm going to have some Christmas surprises at the end, so I hope you'll stay tuned for through the whole thing. I hope so. Now, let's see. That is a piece of Jeanette. I think I pick it up. There we go. And that's called the national pattern is what that's called. It's a 1940s, 50s pattern. I'm not very fond of it. I've never known what these things are. Those amber things. Are they banana split bowls? I see them all the time, but I don't know what they are. I've never known what they are. I like that little celery dish down there. What do you think about clear glass on top of copper? You see there, I don't even think I pick it up. There's a nice candy dish behind it with a lid. But listen, when the whole store is 50% off, you have to have lots of willpower. Now I could have bought that. I didn't. Is that Anchor Hocking open lace? Yeah, that's Anchor Hocking open lace. Not a difficult pattern to find, and again, a nice piece, nothing wrong with it. I probably should have gone ahead and bought it. But what I was saying is, the whole store 50% off. Ugh. You know, I have to really be careful not to come home with boxes and boxes and boxes full. Now, there's a Hazel Atlas block optic creamer. You can see the HA there in the inside of it, and a little orphaned candle holder in pink depression. Again, you know, I'm seeing nice things, but it's not that I'm necessarily picky. But I got to discern. I have to run figures through my mind, and what have I already got, and what do I want to sell, what do I not want to sell. That was a nice piece of satin glass. It wasn't old though, but still nice. Oh, you know how it is. You know when you go to a thrift store and it's all half price, and then you spend $100 and you come home and you've got boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff. Now this, I'm going to tell you about this when I get out in the car, so I won't do too much talking about it right now. I'm not even going to tell you if I buy it. Well, there goes the murder mystery. You see the answer, you saw what it was underneath, and you might even see me put it in my cart. So I did buy that, and I'll tell you why when we get out in the car together. I don't think I've purchased any other teapots. How is everyone today, by the way? I'm filming this voiceover on a Saturday afternoon. And the weather has turned chilly here. Again, in the Northeast, I know there's been a lot of rain in the South, and especially in North Carolina. How many of you are going to do some Christmas decorating this weekend? Excuse me. I was eating pretzels, and I think I have one stuck where it's not supposed to be. I'm not quite ready. There's that false graph up there. I'm not quite ready to do any Christmas decorating just yet. It's actually rare that any Christmas decorations go up at my house until well after Thanksgiving, but we'll see. These are pretty. Every once in a while, I strike it rich in the framed art. I usually don't have the patience to go picking through these little bags, but there can be some interesting things in there, little figurines and whatnot. But as you can see, I'm zooming right past them today. I'm actually headed for the lamps in the back. Every once in a while, there'll be an art glass shade or an antique lamp base or just other lamps I can use for parts. But I'm staying 6 feet away from the customer in front of me. I didn't really see anything in the lamp department. Oh, I guess we're going to move in. I'm always holding my breath, thinking one of these days there's going to be a mint condition, wonderful slag glass lamp back there, either by Rembrandt or Miller. I won't go so far as to say Tiffany. Okay. Oh, she's moving fast. Get that cart back there and fill it up again. Now, I know it doesn't look like there are many people in the store, but it is just after 8 o'clock in the morning, and we were having some really hard rain. Good morning to sleep in. Well, you only saw me put one thing in my cart. What is this man fiddling with? I think he found himself an old video camera. That's what I think he found. Lots of clothing, as you can see. Okay, this is kind of boring. I'm kind of boring myself. It's the way it is. Sometimes you don't always come across fantastic pieces every day. But it's the thrill of the hunt. I do like looking through the DVD section because I like to find things from the BBC. And old movies. Record albums up there. LPs. You can see this is a very large store. Well, there's my little teapot. I did find something else. You'll see that when we get in the car. Oops. There we go. Well, how well did I do? Well, about as well as I thought I would do. I have tried this before when they do the 50% off the entire store, but I have to honestly say, I do much better when there's no sale at all, and you can probably figure out why. Now, you just saw the footage of me shopping. I probably had to do some voiceovers because the music was up. Anyway, it was fun. I bought 2 things, and the reason why I didn't really get that much is because there were a lot of people shopping, although the store didn't look crowded. Today the weather is chilly and rainy and dismal and gray. And while I was shopping, I did recognize about 4 people in there that I know either are antique dealers or resellers or that kind of thing. And that's perfectly fine, but you're just going to have a lot of competition and probably not find a whole lot. So the 2 things that I found, you did see in my cart. I went ahead and chose the Sadler teapot made in England. Last week, I found a mini teapot, remember, with the very similar to an R. Atkinson Fox print on the front of it, and the label was covering it up. I couldn't see it, and one of my subscribers wrote in and said, "That's one of those mini Sadlers," and she was right. She or he was right. It was a mini Sadler. This is another one, a larger one made in England, and I just love the fruits on there. It's in very nice condition with a little bit of crazing, but no damage, and I did take the lid off to make sure. Okay, it was half price, which means I paid $3 for it. $3 for it. It's just a pretty teapot. Not terribly old, but I like it. And then as I was leaving, something caught my eye. And what caught my eye was the color. I couldn't see the shape, the form. I didn't know what it was, but I saw that iconic mid-century color hiding down below, and I said, that looks like maybe a piece of California pottery. Well, what I like about this is, well, it's an ashtray. That's not necessarily what I like about it, but I like how they have disguised the little cigarette troughs or whatever that you call those. So there's one here for the cigarette, and then 2 more here, okay? But they've disguised it and incorporated it into this. I guess maybe it's a banana leaf, so that even when it's not being used as an ashtray, it certainly could sit out and almost look like a candy dish. It's just that iconic color of the 1960s with the gilding around the edges. So I like the design, the form, the color, and it was $4, so I only paid $2. Now, also, it's going to give me something to do a little research on, because I'm going to get this sticker off. And I'm not familiar with Plymouth Products Company of Philadelphia. And there's a patent number on here, and I'm going to be able to look that up. I think you can see. So we'll look up the patent number, and I would be very shocked if it were not a patent number from the 1960s. It's nice to find a Philadelphia piece, and as I said, I just think this mid-century look will appeal to the mid-century mod folks, or the people that like the 1960s. Okay, that's it for that 50% off Goodwill store. You can see some artificial greens back there. I'm not ready to mess with them just yet, but I am ready to mess with the next shop. So let's start the car and head on out. We're going to a Goodwill in another town. Then I'll get some lunch, and maybe we'll go walk around an antique store. I'm glad you're joining me today. I'm Scott. Well, you already knew that. You already knew that. Okay, let's go. Well, for those of you who like rare Christmas items, these I've never seen before, but they've got to be hard to find. They're, let's see, the tag says Antique German Xmas Lanterns. And you can see it's delicate cardboard, sort of imitating leaded glass, with paper. And these would fold into lantern shapes, where you, at that time, would have used candles. They're really beautiful, $250. But of course, rare and antique Christmas is very expensive. And they look like they're in remarkably good shape. Well, as you can tell, I have ventured into an antique store. And I'm just going to walk around and maybe talk about a few things that catch my eye. Like that wonderful blue glass Art Deco table in the corner. And there's a small Victor Victrola. And that is a Victor. Tell by the cabinet. Oak sideboard. Oh, so much fun to be out antiquing. Mask on, mask on. See? There I am. Okay. Well, I want to show you in this display cabinet, it's pretty fun to find a piece of depression glass with its original label. That's the cameo pattern. Oops, there it is. See, it's got that little sort of ballerina dancer there in the middle. Cameo. Great to see it with a label. As you can tell, I'm not in a thrift shop anymore. I've moved into an antique store. So I'll do a little bit of filming, not much. Look at this candle over here. I love that. Can you see it? Let's see how much that is. $12. Oh, snow babies. Well, everyone, I want to thank you for watching the thrift haul. I hope you're still watching, even though that was kind of a lackluster thrift haul. As I said, I don't come home with Tiffany lamps every day. But coming up here at the end, I'm going to show you a few photographs of the Christmas glass that's going to be for sale in the old Curiosity Shop on Monday. Now, this is Saturday afternoon, and I'm going to be having all of this glass, most of it, will be ready on Monday. I'll probably split it up into two thrift hauls. None of it is ready yet. I'm only working on the photographs, but I just wanted to show you a few of the pieces. But I'll be feverishly working on Monday, getting everything listed, and come back Monday night for a Christmas glass thrift haul. Everything will be for sale. While I'm rambling, I'm sharing with you an old photograph. It's one of my favorites. You all have snapshots just like this. That's my father on Christmas morning with his father. And my father was an only child. And there he is on Christmas morning playing a game with his dad. And I just love that picture. Now, if you'll notice behind my father in the window is a multi-candlestick window candelabra, or not candelabra, whatever you call it. I still have them. They had several of them in the house, and I've got them. They're actually made of wood, not plastic. I'll show them to you sometime. But that picture's taken in the early 1950s. And I imagine that was probably the very first television set that they ever had. And that's the grandparents who threw away nothing. And so that house was chock full. Even that rug that you see there underneath my grandfather's wingtips, that's in the basement of my mother's house right now. I'm telling you what, they saved everything, and I took everything that I could. Okay, enough about me going on and on. I will say one more thing. Many of you have asked me about that ring that I wear on my hand that has a letter B on it. Well, it belonged to my grandfather that you see sitting right there. His name was Wilhelm, but of course in German, here in America, William, and he preferred to be called Bill, and that's the reason why on that signet ring, instead of the W for his first name Wilhelm, he had the B for William. And he has been gone now for 30 years. He died in 1990. I was only in my early 20s, but I have fond memories of him, miss him, and in my mind's ear, I can still hear his voice. How many of you can still hear voices? I don't mean, audibly hear it, but in your mind's ear, as they say. You remember the voice. You know it. You know the sound of it. And if you were to hear it miraculously on a recording or something, you'd know exactly who it was. Do you feel that way, the same way that I do, or am I just weird? I bet. Well, I know I'm weird, but I bet you do too. Okay, let's look at some pretty Christmas glass, and I'll stop the video after that. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. So long for now.
The weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbye. As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbye. But as long as you love